Okay, so moving on. 7.1, multiplying two binomials. I think you've seen this in grade 9. We're just going to go over it and make sure that you're experts at it. So we need this in what we're doing with quadratics because a quadratic is in this form, remember? A quadratic is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. That is the form of a quadratic, and that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about that an awful lot this year from now on, and we're going to talk about that an awful lot in grade 11. So, the product of two binomials. Now, the word product is a special word in mathematics, and it means the answer to a multiplication question. So, an answer to a multiple I'm crazy. It's an answer to a multiplying, not a multiple, to a multiplying question. Not a multiple question, a multiplying question. So, product means the answer to a multiplying question. So, the product of two binomials, so when I take two binomials and multiply them together, we're going to get a quadratic in this form, and that's going to be very important to us. So take a look at this one. I've got 2x plus 3 and x plus 1. I'm going to zoom in so it's nice and big. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the 2x and I'm going to multiply it by the first term in the first bracket. So it's going to be 2x times x, and that's going to be 2x squared. I'm going to take the 2x and I'm going to multiply it by the 1. And that's going to be plus 2x. So look what I've done. I've taken this term and I've multiplied it by each term in the second binomial. Easy peasy. I'm now going to take the second term and do the same thing. So I'm going to take the 3, it's a positive 3, and multiply it by the x, and I'm going to get plus 3x. I'm going to take the positive 3 and I'm going to multiply it by positive 1, and I'm going to get plus 3. So notice I ended up with 4 terms here. But 2 of the terms are like terms. The 2x and the 3x are like terms. So we can put those together to get 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. And that's the answer. Yes? Isn't what a 3? Pardon me? Okay, let's go through it. So it's 2x times x, right? Which is 2x squared. 2x times 1, which is 2x. 3 times x, which is 3x, yeah. And 3 times 1, which is 3. Good question. It's your first time seeing this, I think, so let's make sure we get it. That's great. And notice what we've done. We've gone from two binomials to a trinomial. I've gone from two binomials to a trinomial. And the trinomial's in a quadratic form, isn't it? It's got the x squared term. This is a quadratic. Because it has the x squared term. That's how we can tell. Okay, so the next thing to do is just do some examples. So I've got x minus 4 times 2x plus 1. And to be honest with you, you better draw the arrows. I do, and I get paid to do mathematics. So x times 2x is 2x squared. And then I do x times 1 is x. And then I do, but I got to be careful, see that negative? Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. And negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Then I take a break, I look around the room, and I come back to the question. I said, okay, that's expanding. I've expanded it, but have I simplified it? The answer is no. Simplifying means collect like terms. So I've got 1 positive x, and I've got 8 negative x's. So my final answer is going to be 2x squared minus 7x minus 4. And that's my final answer. Isn't that cool? So the first part was expanding. That's the distributive property. And the simplifying part is collecting like terms. And that was what I did here. And this part, the expand part, is the distributive property. Now, I want to call your attention to something with the distributive property. You've been doing the distributive property. Let me show you something. 2, 3x plus 1. This is the distributive property. That's the distributive property, absolutely. Now look at this one. So this is with a monomial times a binomial. This is a binomial times a binomial. So in the monomial, the 2 got multiplied by each thing inside the brackets. Well, in this one, the 2x gets multiplied by each thing in the 2 brackets. And the plus 1 gets multiplied by everything inside the second bracket. So you've actually been doing this before. You're just doing it with 2 terms now in the binomial in the front. Let's do the next example. 3x plus 2 squared. Well, you're going to say, but Mr. White, that's not a binomial times a binomial. It's a binomial squared. And I'm going to say, but what does it mean? If I had a squared, doesn't that mean a times a? And you'll say, yeah. And so if I have 3x plus 2 squared, isn't it the same as 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2? Yeah. So now don't you have 2 binomials being multiplied together? Yeah. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Don't you dare tell me it's 6x squared. 3x times 2 is 6x. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 4 is 4. That's the expanding part. Now you have to do the simplifying part. 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. Life is grand. Life is grand. This is awesome. This is simple. This is clean. This is quick. This is 3 marks. Cool. I'm going to pause there and I'll be right back.